Morning, y'all. Hey, it's Melissa at Twin Oaks Family Farm in rural Southeast Ohio, USA. Thanks for joining us on Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. And just a quick video to show you the setup in our meat bird pen. So getting ready for Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens, and we're moving in just a little group of 125. There'll probably be a few over that, and want to show you what we have set up to be ready for a group that size of Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens to move in. So some reference points on ambient conditions. Our barn, with no supplemental warmth added to it, is similar to outdoor temperatures. So it actually is about 33 degrees Fahrenheit outside here where I live, rural Southeast Ohio, USA. This is April 22nd, 2024, and these are hatchling chicks. So that's too cold for them. So we do have to provide either an enclosed brooder or supplemental warmth targeted right at their living space. And that's what we opt to do. We opt to basically set up a brooder pen, and we target supplemental warmth right down toward the floor at the bird's living space. And our pen is set up so that as they outgrow their space, there's already more room. They can just naturally expand into the room that's there. And we even have it confined with temporary walls that if the group is large enough quantity, they exceed the barriers, the space that's inside these barriers, we can actually take those down and let them have even more room. So we gauge the size of flocks we bring in to the size of space we set up for them, and we set the space up with the idea that this will contain them at finish. And then we start them inside that space where they have room to just expand, and we have room to add resources, including their food, their water, those are in dispensers, and including their supplemental warmth. So I'm going to show you what we've got going, and then I'm going to be down the road to go get the chicks because they are in, and we're talking 8 a.m. Monday morning. So these are chicks that would have hatched sometime Sunday, overnight mail, and they're at the next town over. Post office about 4 miles away is where they came into, and we actually network with our favorite feed mill, Beverly Feed and Equipment. So they've been in communication with me. Hey, chick day chicks are here. But wanted to show you this before we get chicks in it. So we are moving in 125 chicks. There'll be a few over that in the boxes. We'll have one big box probably and one small box, and then we've set up a space here for them. You're looking at a length of basically, I'm going to say about to where this light is, about 15 feet, okay? And then you can see there's only a span of like maybe 5 foot at most where we've put pine bedding down, because the reality is those chicks are going to prioritize warmth. They're going to stay where the targeted warmth from the heat lamps is coming. So what we have in place for the chicks when they move in is good, dry, absorbent footing underneath them, which is this pine shavings. We have water in the water dispensers. So I actually have 5 water dispensers in here right now, a gallon each. And little bitty chicks, that's going to be more than sufficient for 125 of them, but they'll quickly outgrow that quantity and capacity. We actually have hung up 12 heat lamps, but initially they're going to fit well under 4, and we want to have them where it's warm, and we want to leverage them staying in groups so that they have some body heat also working in their favor to keep them warm. What temperature do chicks want to be? Approximately 95 degrees Fahrenheit. They'll outgrow just having these 4 lights probably within 2 or 3 days. We'll need to turn on the end ones, that one down there and this one down here. And then as they outgrow that space, we'll add more bedding over here, and we'll be able to utilize these heat lamps. They're suspended from the ceiling rafters, so we can adjust height by just simply dropping them down the suspension chains, okay? You can see also another thing we do, our waters are already on a makeshift riser that's just scrap wood. That lifts it up a little. They can still reach it, but they're not going to be kicking bedding into it. These little risers are here for their feeders. Let me show you that. We already have the feeders set up and ready to go, but our routine, our protocol is we move the chicks in, let them settle in for about an hour or two, then we put feed down. We want to dissipate all the transportation stress, before we introduce feed into the chick's digestive system. So actually, when we get them in here, we're going to, I'm going to turn the camera around, y'all. Hey, so when we get them in here, first thing we're going to do, I'm working by myself on it, so first thing I'm going to do is get them in here, keep them, the boxes under the heat, near the heat lamps, unload the chicks one at a time so I can attempt to get a really accurate initial count on how many chicks are in the flock. And I'll take each chick one at a time, dip its beak into the water. That establishes for the chick where the water is. We know they're going to go drink water. Get them all unloaded. It's probably going to take me close to an hour to unload and count one by one all these little chickies. They are Cornish raw cross meat chickens. After we get them unloaded, settled, we'll check back in with a video and get that up this week on them, and then we'll monitor their progress. So at any rate, we're ready. This is second flock of 2024. When we get outcomes on the first flock, we'll try to share that here, and you can go back and watch video on them, on their progress. They did pretty good. We were satisfied with them. It's difficult to raise flocks where you have impact from cool temperatures and ambient conditions, and you have the potential for chill stress. So keeping these flocks small. Last year we actually started flocks in January and February. This year we decided not to do that, held off till March. We're contemplating next year maybe not even doing a March flock. And then here we are, April 22nd. We're still moving chicks in when outdoor temperatures are 33 degrees. We had heavy frost last night. That's still too cool, you know, and it's really chill stress in the beginning, especially the first couple days, but even the first 3 weeks is really difficult for Cornish raw cross meat chickens. It affects them later on in production, like out at week 4 and week 5 when we're needing those birds to finish strong. So we'll see. But anyway, we do have the heat there. The heat's been on. The heat has been on a couple hours. Those bulbs heat up pretty fast. So we've got that warm for them. The water's been there overnight, so it's, you know, same as the surrounding temperature. Like I said, feed is ready, and we'll put it down after they've been here a couple hours. I'm letting the truck warm up now so that as I go to pick them up, it's only 5 minutes from me, but my truck will be nice and warm for them when I get them here. So we'll be raising Cornish raw cross meat chickens. We're going to show you our system. Happy to answer questions. We really have great admiration for these birds. They finish quickly, I'm saying they're ready for processing for meat production at most in 6 weeks. If you keep them longer, they're not more finished, they're just bigger. And that's not necessarily a great thing for Cornish raw cross meat chickens, because they're really typically finished and ready for processing at 5 or 6 weeks. This flock will be going for 37 days on. So that's how we set it up for a group of 100. We expect to feed 1,000 pounds of complete feed, 22% protein, that is by Kalmbach Feeds, made in Ohio. We expect to keep the flock on the high protein 22% start to finish, but we can adjust if they grow super ahead of schedule, we can adjust that protein down to like a 19%. So at any rate, join us at Twin Oaks Family Farm on Twin Oaks Farm Poultry for videos on our system, our production system for raising Cornish raw cross meat chickens and producing real good chicken. And if you do eat chicken, you do eat beef, you do eat pork, try to source those meats from local farmers in your area. Heart Local Ag, y'all. God bless you. Have a fantastic day. And may all your chicken dinners always be winners.